believe we're live.
And we are live, Greg. Indeed, you are correct. Hey, everybody! Welcome to Brothers and Booze, our weekly Friday night fun fest with beer and stories and nonsense. So
Plenty of that.
it was nice to see that you actually had pictures of your selections this week, Greg, instead of keeping us all in the dark.
Yeah,
it's nice. So as I mentioned, all my beers are dark. So I'm gonna, as is our custom,
like you like your men.
Very true.
And coffee too, right?
Coffee for sure. Although I do put some milk in it, but anyway, so we're going to start here like we normally do. We always pretty much dive right in. So without further ado, I'm going to launch my first one out here. This is one that Rohrback, I've had a bunch of their beers on the show. This is one I haven't seen. This is a limited release of their original porter. Now, Rohrback's been around for a century, I think. So this was like their original porter recipe. It's only 6%, but it's, I'm looking forward to it because this seems like what a classic porter should be. So
6% is on the high end for a porter, so that's good.
True. Yeah.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah, but I've been doing so many imperial things of late. That's 6%.
They say this is the imperial time of the year.
It is, which I'm very happy about. War is very nice.
Every year is y'all year, but yeah. So we got a dark, red hue there, or are we in the brown area there?
Shitty, dirty glass. That's
no. We live in that area for sure. But so is it brownish or is it reddish or what's going on there?
It's definitely brown. It's dark brown. The reddish hue, I think, is just from the lighting.
Gotcha.
It's definitely dark brown.
The porter could be a little red. That's no worries.
Sure, but this one isn't. The nose on it is a little roasty, not as predominant as a lot of porters are. So. That's spot on. Classic porter. Roastiness, great finish. I don't have a lot to say about it because it's what you want out of a porter. Like all the notes you want is all right there.
Is it bigger on the flavors though, or is it what? Is it?
No, it's balanced. It's not like, sometimes it's overly roasty, but I mean, I don't generally mind that, but this is just, it's all the notes you want and a nice little symphony. So cheers. This one is really good.
Nice. Of course, I love a good porter. Mm-hmm. Jump in here with Flensburger Dunkel. I don't know. This is one I just grabbed when I was at the beer store. I was like, oh, a Dunkel, and I've never had it. So let's jump into this one.
And I would have grabbed that for the bottle alone.
Oh, the bottle is cool. And in fact, unfortunately, I didn't. I don't know. You heard right before we went live here is when I popped it open, and I was like, but it was a nice little popping sound, so it made make sure that it was good. Yeah. This Dunkel, look at that. It's really more amber than it is. Some Dunkels can get, closer to like porter level as far as SRM here goes. I would say the SRM on this one. I'm looking at my SRM chart here. Like 4 or something. No, we're down actually more than like 10. This is a dark lager is like 17. So yeah. But this looks more like an amber. It's kind of like scaring me a little bit. Ooh, I got a little and pull this up. I pulled it up earlier. Let's show everybody here while I did this earlier. But so it says here, dark cider porters are fine, bitter, fresh, rich in taste. My first reaction is it's snappy. And what I mean by that, it's like I feel a little bit of a crisp, like snap at the beginning. Right. It's fantastic. It says fine bitter, so I'm sure it's the hops in here, giving that little punch, but not. I mean, just a little punch at the beginning, and then it ends like a lager. It drinks like a lager. It drinks light. Look at 4.8%. Amber color. This is like, man, this is a good form of. Remember those ambers that we drank when we were growing up, whether it be Fat Tire or Yingling Lager, or you know what I mean. Those ambers. This is really like I don't know. This is great. Actually, I love it. But what I love about it is it's simple. Um, it's not complex. It just gives you that lager, the dark lager. It just delivers it. It's fantastic. I know nothing about this brewery, but I'm sure it goes back forever. Yeah, I'm a fan. Lawnmower beer for sure, for sure. Definitely too, like more on a darker side for a lawnmower beer. We're used to associating lawnmower beer with clear beer and
Yeah.
pilsners, and that's a good thing. But this one here, don't go surprise you, in my opinion, in their look, and then they drink so light and refreshing that you're
Yeah.
like, damn.
I think it's a crispness, like, is what I like for a good lawnmower beer. It's like something that's crisp, just hits your palate really.
Yeah,
Like I think you said snappy was what you said earlier.
snappy.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
yeah, that's that sort of flavor that just like feels so good when it hits your lips. Sorry,
yeah, and it catches you. There's like a catch there. It's like, oh, this is one I want to like.
that's what I want.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's how
So
you mentioned that was kind of a simple, straightforward, gives you the dunkel that you want. That's how this is with this porter. It's like boom, right to the thing, and just that's what I want.
well, and sometimes again, you and I are both will drink a big old cinnamon bun beer, and we're down with the cocoa nibs and all that. But on some level too, at some point we like this. Give it to us, like this.
Hey,
Give
give
us
it
a
the
dunkel.
classics.
Right. Give us a dunkel. Give me a porter. You don't have to have a crazy porter because we're gonna. I have a crazy porter coming up here.
Yeah.
So doesn't every porter doesn't have to be crazy, but I got one, and I think you've had more crazy porters on the show than me.
Yeah,
So
but I generally go seek out the weirdness. So like if it's something that sounds really odd, I'm gonna probably get it just because I want to see if they can make that kind of stuff work. I will say this about this porter before we move on. This, if ever beer chick drank this, she would call this shit brown water because it's simple. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing like extra
right.
going on. It's not thick. It's just
Mm-hmm.
simple, roasty, straight to the point.
Mm-hmm.
Well done, Roarback.
Yeah, and that's coming from Big Stout Lady too.
Mm.
I call her Big Stout Lady, but a lot of people. You're a Big Stout guy too, by the way. I mean, you guys are really, really close in that aspect. But you, in my opinion, have what's the word I want to use? An appreciation for a regular, again, brown water porter.
Yeah, I will say that it might sound sacrilegious before the show. I had a Labatt's that I had in the fridge, and it's there's not a lot of character to it, but it was crisp, and it was something I just wanted something like that. I didn't knowing I was going to drink bigger stuff later. Labatt's is kind of like that's my cheap ass beer that I have once in a while. And I just had some in my fridge. I'm like, I'm gonna have one of those. And it was like a nice little warm up. It's like having beer flavored water, yes, but it was crisp and I enjoyed that. So I think you're
I
right.
Yeah, and I remember that about Labatt. I used to go back from Labatt to Molson, and Labatt there was more of a catch to it than
Mhm.
Molson. Molson was a little bit smoother. Labatt had a little bit more of an edge, and I always liked it about it. Labatt Blue, right?
Yeah, Labatt's. I don't know.
Labatt's
I'm not
Blue.
Canadian, so
Yeah. Oh man, we're butchering that for our Canadian friends,
yeah.
man.
Sorry, folks. Sorry, Tiffany. Oh man.
So a bit of beer news today. The Fresh Fest was announced the weekend. The the only black brewery beer festival in America. At this point,
Mhm.
announced it's gonna be August 8th, which is the second week in August, which again was the last time. But the venue changed. They're gonna be in Allentown, which apparently is a part of Pittsburgh, and it's an up and coming apparently black area. So they're combined they are collaborating with them to sounds like take over to do a block party, which is
That would
old
be awesome.
school. I remember growing up with block parties. I don't know if you've ever done block parties. They're fun
I've
as
been to them.
hell. Was that?
I've been to them, but where I grew up, there was not a lot of people of color, so block parties were not a thing where I was.
Sure, right. And I mean, block parties are amazing. I just remember them just being amazing. Shut down the street. like everybody collaborated. And I think that's a really, I mean, it doesn't get any better way to bring beer to Black people. Just bring it to them.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is just amazing. Put it right in the middle of their neighborhood. Fantastic, love it. I can't wait. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and it was interesting because when I was looking at the thing, it said Allentown, and I was thinking like Allentown above Philadelphia. But as you said, it was the neighborhood. I know there's another neighborhood in Pittsburgh called Oakland. So I just think that's kind of interesting that they have these different neighborhoods that are named like other cities. But
Yeah, it kind of threw me off for sure. I was like, that's not my Allentown.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it would be
that's more
interesting if
your
it was
alley.
my Allentown. It would be really interesting if it was there, but no story. But anyway, I'm really excited about that, and I believe you're going to attend this year. So yeah, we're gonna
I'm really,
we'll
really
bring some
looking.
brothers and brews to the Fresh Fest, and I don't know, maybe we can get noted and notable, so we can do a collaboration the year after. You can
That would
always wish,
that
because
would be
that's
fab, man. Fabulous.
that's really the thing about Fresh Fest is the collaborations between the Black artists and the Black brewers with bigger brewers, and they do it too with bloggers and vloggers and people of influence. And these beers come out so amazing, Doug, and they're just one-offs. They're just you're never going to get them anywhere else. I mean, you can somewhere in distribution, but you know what I'm saying. Like they're just special beers, and they're damn good. So, what do you got as your second? Unless you have
Okay.
some Fresh Fest talk.
No, I'm really, really, really excited to do this because as you and I have talked offline as well about the idea of having more diversity, like even just on our show, uh, having just diversity in beer and all that. It's important, and this is a way to showcase that. And I think that's pretty fucking awesome.
Gonna be fun. It's a hell of a time, man. It really is. I can't say enough. So, what you got next? You got a
Oh, next is I'm going back to Bell's. I've never seen this one before. This one is called Blackbeard's Bear Hug. It is imperial stout aged in rum barrels with vanilla, cinnamon, and coconut. That
okay.
sounds like a lot.
Well, you saw my reaction.
So I was like, okay, that sounds like a lot of shit. I'm not sure will work. So I'm going to go try that.
Okay, so before you jump in, have you done rum barrels before?
I've done a few rum barreled beers.
Where are you
Generally,
at with those?
well, it depends because I think the ones I've mostly had have been not stouts. Like I think I had a brown ale aged in rum barrels. It's not a lot, not a lot of experience. I've had, I think, two maybe. I just thought this was interesting.
And then we all know you're a Scotch guy. So where does rum hit on your distilled spirits list? Is it high? Is it low? You don't like rum? You do? Where you at?
Oh, my problem is I like rum way too much.
Okay.
Like,
So then this should be a thing that you should, again, you like stouts,
yes.
you like rum. So if the marriage is together, this should be good.
Yeah. Well, the thing is for me is with rum is it is, I think Joe would agree, the one liquor that I don't have a clear notion of when I should stop. So like
Okay.
I'll be drinking rum and then I'll be like, I drank half that bottle. That's why I'm tipsy. Okay. I just don't have a lot of stop. That is a little too far kind of thing.
Right.
So this one, like I said, is called Blackbeard's Bear Hug. Got a pretty cool label, of course. It's got like a bear in a suit.
Okay, it looks kind of ominous from here.
Yeah, it does, and it's like got this crazy, like old
So was that
20s black and white kind of look to it.
what I call a Doug special, where you just grabbed it because you like the label?
Well, it's the label and the things they put in it. Because I was just like, oh my goodness, I got to try this. So this, holy moly, this one is 14.4%. I didn't even realize it was that high. There it is.
There we go.
Goodness, that is so boozy on the nose. Oh my goodness.
And vanilla beans and coconut.
And coconut is not I don't mind the flavor of coconut. I don't like eating coconut itself because I don't like the texture. But
Yeah.
this is going to be, and waves of dark rum. So it was like Well, there's different kinds of rum too. You have blackstrap, which is like very molasses tasting, and spiced rum, regular rum. So, oh boy.
My friend Don Hudson
Mhm.
introduced me to you probably met him, he's a dad too guy.
Yeah,
Um yeah, he introduced me to
definitely.
rum.
Any head.
Yeah. 12-year-old rum. Ooh, beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff.
All right.
So
So,
Blackbeard's Bear Hug.
all
Any
right.
idea how much this one costs?
That one was $3.50, $4.
No. 14% brown for a big old 14% beer.
Yeah, it just, I'm gonna tell you, all you get on the nose is booze. That's just like
Asian rum.
I no cinnamon for sure on the nose.
Vanilla.
A little bit of vanilla, no coconut on the
Sweetness.
nose.
That shit's gonna be sweet as hell.
I know, and I'm
It's gonna be
and
sweet
my last one's gonna be sweet too. So this is gonna be interesting. All right,
this
here
is
we go.
Oh shoot.
Okay, so boozy up front. The vanilla and the cinnamon come in, then a little bit of coconut, and it finishes cinnamony, but not like cinnamon. It's just like a
Sure,
little,
sure.
but it's boozy
Robust.
throughout the whole thing, for sure for that. But like, this is a sharing bottle. I wish you were here to share this because I'm like, if I drink this, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to walk upstairs.
It's great our own studios are at home. It works well.
And I'm glad that I was like last night I went down to this bar that I was having a Dew Claw takeover, and they had they have a beer they make called Sweet Baby Java, which is it's a porter that is made with peanut butter and coffee. But they had a maple bourbon barrel aged version of that, which I'd never had. So I grabbed one of those, and it was 6%, and it was delicious. It was really, really good. That was really excellent. This is decidedly more booze.
Man, 14%.
Yeah, so I didn't, because I you know what I have left is the hot cocoa one, and I left that last because I was like, oh, that's their Blackwater series is going to be over 10%. I didn't even look at the ABV on that on the Bell's thing. And I looked at it, I'm like, holy shit! Like,
so for me, so there's a marriage going on. So for me, real quick, the marriage between bourbon and stouts is amazing. I think it works. I think the part of the bourbon and all that works. I'm not sure about rum, and I'm pretty damn sure that for me, tequila and stouts don't mix. But tequila and like other lighter beers, if you could barrel a tequila barrel, I think that works. So rum, I'm still figuring it out. And the reason is I think I've had some quote bad ones or ones I didn't like. How about that? And what I mean by bad, I mean it was just too much rum, and then I didn't feel a marriage between the beer and the rum. I just felt it was like too much rum. So, do you feel, with that being said, do you feel that there's a good marriage going on there with the rum and that's the stout? Period. Like just a stout. You're a stout guy, so you know how this works, and you know the bourbon barrels. So where you at?
Okay, so I'm going to say that the rum part, it mixes with the vanilla, the cinnamon, the coconut really well. It does accentuate the stout. I think bourbon is a better match.
Oh, I think it's always going to be.
Rum is this is a pretty good match. It's not overly rummy. Like I said, rum is a tricky one because it can be very sweet. So you have to be, if you're making this kind of thing and it's that boozy and you have the sweetness of the rum on top of it,
right?
It could be over. Now, this isn't going to be for everybody. I'll say that straight up front. This would be something that I wish I had a couple of friends over and we each have a glass like this, like a little, and just share it. It would be really excellent shared. It's big. It's really big. So Yeah, I'm gonna.
Sweet, too sweet, too sweet.
No, I don't. I don't think so. I don't.
Oh, okay,
I'm
okay.
surprised. I was expecting it to be like that, like really cloyingly sweet is what I was expecting. Not that. It's
Mm-hmm.
more boozy. So
All right, all right. Well, I'm gonna jump on mine quick because
yeah.
I'm gonna actually break the mold that we've been in. We haven't had many IPAs or double IPAs lately. We've had
No.
a pale or something. We've been very heavily accentuated. We've been doing a whole. I don't know. We've had lagers all over the place. So, um, things of that nature from a local brewery called the Brewing Project. I might bring you some of this when I come back east, but they are big, juicy double IPA places. Double IPA place. The can's pretty nice. I don't know.
I like
And
that. It's kind of simple, and I like that. Like sometimes, like we've talked before, with even with beer, sometimes simple is good.
yep. So we're going to. We haven't had a big old hazy, juicy,
Well, that
juicy.
definitely fills that mold. Look at that. Right.
That's a hazy, juicy one. And I like Brewing Project because again, you can get them all year round. Our boy Matt Clark, who we'll be seeing more of this year. I promise. He's gonna be popping in and out on a lot of shows. He loves these. Um, I don't know. To me, you already know how I feel about every beer has a time.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I could show you my outside. It's snowing like crazy. This is one of those I put winter. This is our Winterfest.
Yeah.
You were telling me tomorrow that your plans changed because of the snow and the crap that's coming your way.
Yep.
So, cheers to normally when people, in the winter we have the big old stouts, and I think I got one coming, and you have one sitting there. So,
Yeah.
cheers to the double IPA winter angle. Let's see what we get here. Oh, it smells like one of those juice, mango, all that beautifulness, big hops. When the hops smell
Mhm.
like an orange drink, tang,
Yeah, it's that
all
milkshake
that,
style. Yeah.
all that. I don't know if this has
It,
lactose.
it doesn't necessarily have to, but it, like I know what you mean.
It is what it is. Big juicy, citrus, nice little finish at the end. Um, you probably would like this. The fruit part of it takes that big that big hop hit at the end.
Yeah.
Like sometimes that hop hit at the end is just too much. I love it. I fucking love it. I want it. But I know some people get like definitely put off by it. And sometimes it's not married. We're talking about married, the marriage between bourbon and stout, and it works.
Yeah.
Sometimes those big hops just don't even work for people who like big hops.
Yeah.
It's like, no, this isn't. This is nice. Goes out smooth, but it's big. Their website, I don't pulled up their website, and this is a variant. Let me go. Where are we at here? I know. So this is a. Oops.
I like how it was like refresh.
Yeah, because I have like I close my tab. Literally close 10 tabs or something before I get on the show. So these are just
Yep.
my tabs for the show, and look how many I have. But
Yeah.
anyway,
As somebody who works in IT, that would drive me bananas. I'd be like, "What are you doing?"
oh, it does drive me bananas, but then I don't want to forget that whatever.
Yeah, I know what you
I'm a
mean.
mess. It's a mess.
Okay.
I'm not even. Anyway, so if you see here, they have things of that
Oh
nature.
no! Can you stop?
Was that?
Irregardless is not a word.
Oh, did I say that?
No, that's what the can says on the thing.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's
I,
regardless.
I'm with you in regard. Yeah, yeah.
So
And they probably did that, or I don't know.
maybe
But
they did
anyway, this
it
is
as a tongue in cheek.
yeah. I hope.
I hope.
Right. But I'm so things of that nature, and you see, I have the things of that nature should have, and that's irregardless. So I think what it is they have. I can't click on it or anything. It doesn't, or no, it doesn't let me click. They it's just a variant. So this is double dry with Galaxy and Mosaic. The one I have is double dry hop with Mosaic and Simcoe. So
I saw
um,
that on the can. So yeah,
so yeah, you can see by the website that they are, IPA house basically.
yeah,
When you do these big IPAs, you either I find that you do big IPAs and then you do like big stouts, or you do like barrel aged stuff, and they're
yeah.
kind of that. But I don't know. People, I know our friend Paige and Rick. I don't want to call them out, but they put it on social media. So, but they were kind of disappointed in Brewing Project because they rolled up there, and there was just like it was one of these IPA houses. They had like two stouts and the rest IPAs, and they were like, it's the spring, and we're kind of looking for even a lager or something, and they're
What
just like,
about that? If you go back on there where you were at, they had a Almond Joys, which was looked like a very dark beer. Go down. You were
oh,
on.
well, here's a Christmas stout for sure.
All right, so
So,
up, up.
uh,
That one where it has this right there. You see all that? See his Almond Joys? Look how dark that was.
oh,
That's an Imperial chocolate stout.
yeah. Ah, I should see if I could get some of that almond joys and bring it your way.
Yeah. Now, also, what I noticed too is, did you notice the color on the pineapple IPA? Or no, the terminal dip.
This one. Look at that.
Look at the color on that. What is that?
Right.
I want to know what's in that because that looks like brown. I don't even
Yeah, I don't
brown.
know, they don't like give you individual breakdowns,
Yeah.
like we're used to. Um, but that where is that? Is that? Oh no, that's here, right?
Yeah.
Um, that looks like when they're brewing and
Yeah.
like the first hit off the keg.
Yeah.
That's what that looks like. The keg hasn't settled, and like they pour it, and like yeah. That looks like wow. And that almond joys looks good. I never saw that almond. Yeah. So you see, they do some different kind of you know what I mean? They're kind of well, I mean they're not different, but they have their see. Look at that, man. Look at that.
That's a great name, Dare Mighty Things. I
There are
like
many things, right, right. So yeah, this must be that this must be they're doing this on purpose, I believe, irregardless. Um, so that's that one. It's quite different than, I mean, the three beers I have couldn't be more different today. Because you got the lager here, which started
Yep.
off light. Then you have this big ass, thick ass. It's good, but it's like compared,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Compared to a Dunkel, man. Come on now. This is
I
like
think they did
chewy.
big ass and thick ass and the same thing.
And now it's time for a sponsor.
Uh,
We don't have any. So what's your next beer?
yeah,
We're striving. One day we're gonna get them.
that's fine. So I saved this one for last because you know me and Southern Tier. I'm a big fan of theirs. I think
Oh,
somebody said that they drank this beer and drank it like 5 minutes and didn't realize the ABV on it because it tasted like hot chocolate.
and Doug, me and you need to roll up on Southern Tier in Pittsburgh. We got to do that. That's one thing we
Yeah,
have to do outside of Fresh Fest.
yeah.
Period. Dot. Go.
So this is the Nitro Hot Cocoa Imperial Milk Stout. So this
Ooh.
one's 10.0%. It's their Blackwater series. All of them are 10 or above. They've done a lot of nitro beers this year, which
Mm-hmm.
that's great. They're
Which one did you send me?
what's that?
Which one did you?
I sent you the chocolate milkshake,
Chocolate milkshake. Okay.
and this is
That's
the
it.
hot cocoa. They
Mm.
also did a nitro creme brulee, which the creme brulee is that's the roll
Best.
of dessert beers for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm like I said, the guy that said he drank it and didn't even realize, he said it tasted like hot cocoa. He's like, I didn't even realize the ABV on it. And yeah,
And we're at 10, you said, right? 10?
10. So he drank that really fast, not realizing how heavy it was because it drank so easy. So
Yes.
what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do the open it by the microphone trick. That was lovely. I love the sound of a nitro opening like that. Oh my God. Look how that pours.
Mm.
Oh my goodness.
Mm.
Look at that.
It's a good looking diabetes stout.
And it smells all like hot cocoa.
Ah.
So, and
They're excellent at they really are. I would love to be able to somehow have a flight of like just to see the nuanced differences between the hot cocoa and the hot with the chocolate milkshake. Just and I know there's differences because they taste fucking different though.
yeah, so you can see that it's still the head's still present, which you should expect out of this.
Mm.
They say that this is ale with cocoa powder and natural chocolate and marshmallow flavors added.
Cocoa powder.
Cocoa
Right.
powder. So,
Okay.
like, I don't know if you've ever had cocoa powder, like real cocoa powder. It's not sweet.
Yeah, it's bitter, right?
Yeah, because it's made with dark chocolate.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
The nose is just, it smells fucking delicious.
So I would suspect that cocoa, like you said, cocoa powder is bitter, and cocoa nibs is probably sweet.
I think cocoa nibs are less bitter than the cocoa powder. I think that's how that breaks down. I could be wrong.
Right.
I'm no expert. So, all right, let's give this a go because
working on it. That looks delicious, man. I'm jealous.
Oh my word. That's a home run. That is so fucking smooth. It tastes like it's 5% maybe.
So
it's not super sweet. This
is one for Christmas morning.
Oh yeah. Perfect for that. I wish I would have had it Christmas morning.
Yes. No, I always want a Christmas morning beer. You know what I mean?
This is fucking it right here.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Yes. I got to remember that. You got to remember that because you are definitely closer to that distribution. We see some Southern tier, but not to the level that you do.
We get a lot of it. It's got a heavy body to it, is what you expect.
Right.
But it's so freaking smooth. Like you get the chocolate and the marshmallow. Now, I'm not a huge fan of marshmallow, so like it's something where it's got to be light, and it's just, I don't know, it's fucking balanced. That every goddamn beer they do like this, they just balance it so well.
Daniel wants to know: you need a couple little small marshmallows to throw in there?
If I had small marshmallows, I might do that. And a little known secret, I have 3 more. So when you come visit, I'm gonna have you try some at my house.
So it's a cold, boozy hot cocoa.
Yeah,
iced cocoa with a little bit of booze.
Yeah, that's a really good descriptor because it's
yum.
Oh my god, so fucking good.
Yum.
Why is it that like they just make dessert beers? Just the only one out there that I did not like.
Yeah, we didn't like it. I didn't like it either. What was it? The cinnamon roll?
I really didn't care for that.
Although, I thought it was too sweet.
Yeah, I thought it was too sweet, which is, usually they're good about, all right, this is dessert beer, but it's not going to like rot your teeth out. The one I didn't try theirs that was called Samoa This, so it was supposed to taste like a Samoa Girl Scout cookie.
Oh,
I didn't try that. And it was because it was a coconut, and it kind of intimidated me.
Oh, I want that, and see Samoas. I don't like coconut, but that is as far as I go with coconut. Is the coconut? That's as far as I go. But I would love to have that with some Samoa. Oh man.
So this.
Wow, that seems like a showstopper.
That was.
So it's better than the hot chocolate one, or the no, which one you sent me? It was hot chocolate, right?
The chocolate milkshake.
Chocolate milkshake, yes.
They're both superb.
Chocolate milkshake was amazing. It's a top-notch beer.
When you drink this with me, you're gonna be just as blown away by that one as you are with the chocolate milkshake.
So I don't know. I got high hopes for this one. I really do. All so because it's two ass-kicking breweries from what I say Boulevard out of
Oh,
Kansas City, and Modern Times out of San
hey.
Diego. Um, and it's a actually let's just pull it up and you can see it all much better on my little thing here than my dumb glossy uh, light filled thing. So it's called Restless Nights of Modern Times. So it's bourbon barrel aged coffee porter. Okay. So take a coffee porter and they bourbon barrel it.
With bourbon barrel
Then
aged beans.
then they throw it in, yeah, then they throw it in a bourbon barrel.
No wonder it's called Restless Nights. Holy shit.
Right.
Also, that is a badass label.
Yes, that too. All retro, right? Like throwback.
It
So
reminds me of there's this podcast that was really popular called Welcome to Night Vale.
oh,
And they had an eye was like their big thing, and it reminds me a bit of that. It was like kind of that almost Art Deco-y looking thing. So yeah.
and you love Giant Jones's logo that has the big eye too.
Yep. The
Um,
eye knows all.
yeah, so they made this so they made a barrel aged porter, and then after fermentation, oh no, they made a porter and after fermentation they put it in a bourbon barrel aged coffee.
Whoa. Oh, that's
Right.
different. I was expecting it to be so it's bourbon barrel aged coffee port. So the coffee was bourbon barrel age,
Yes.
not the beer.
The beer
Oh,
was
it's a barrel aged porter. So oh my goodness.
yes.
Wow. All right.
Right. Right. Cool. Right. Right. It took me a little bit to get this too.
So and
Right.
that's 7.5 ABV. That's really fucking high.
7. Let's go.
Not as
Yeah,
good
so
as
I,
the nitros, but still.
so I have high hopes for that, for this beer. I have very high hopes for it. We've discussed, I thought it was last week or the week before. It's been real recent about us discussing about how we love coffee beers.
Mhm.
How we love how we love porter coffee beers.
Yeah.
This is look at this. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, nice and dark too.
Ah. So I'm expecting big old coffee on the nose here. And I get coffee, but I'm not getting big old coffee. I'm not getting any bourbon,
Really?
no booze. Coffee, but coffee in a bitter coffee, not sweet. We talked about that. So this is this is probably my gig, but let's see here. So fantastic, man. Man, we need to talk to Afro Beer Chick. She needs to get this one. This one is light for porter. I'm not getting much bourbon. It's not really boozy. It's more coffee. There's roast there, but I'm not getting bourbon at all. I don't even want to say at all, but it's so light. Um, this is this will be a scary one, Doug. I think because again, it has bourbon in it,
And
but
you
you
said
don't feel it.
it doesn't drink like it's a heavy ABV, and it's 7.5.
No, and it's not over coffee. If that's it's not over coffee. It's not dominated by coffee. The coffee is assertive. You know it's there,
Yeah,
but it's not. Again, I'm not getting any booze on this as far as like the bourbon.
I'm
So I'm
so
not sure if they blended it out. Again, these are two fantastic breweries. And they Boulevard's been around forever. And forever when I say forever, I mean in the craft beer. You know,
they make one of my favorite quads. So
oh, they make an amazing quad. They've been around forever. Not like Anchor or Sierra, but they've been around for long enough to be like
they're
the
kind of
staple.
they're not quite an OG, but they're on the cusp of that.
Right. So when I say forever, that's what I mean. People are gonna get all technical with me. But and Modern Times is just amazing as far as I don't know how much you've had of them, but everything that comes out of there is just great. And then again, this whole idea about what is it? Where are we at? Barrel aged
Barrel
for
aged porter, and then also barrel aged.
barrel aged coffee. That's something. Yeah.
I'm just
um,
I'm still trying to wrap my head around that, if that makes sense. Like, what, you barrel aged a bean? How the fuck did you do that?
do that, or they brewed coffee, then put it in a bourbon barrel.
Maybe that's
I, I
whatever.
this is it's fantastic, fantastic. Um, Again, so 7.5 is kind of low for bourbon barrels. We always see that, but obviously it's high for porter. But this could I don't know. You have to have it. This could be a shower beer. It's definitely not a fucking lawnmower beer. But it's short of a share beer. Like I don't want to share this shit. I don't.
I want it all to myself.
Right. I don't want to share. I mean, you could share it. It'd be cool. Every beer is shareable. We all know this.
Yep.
But this one I don't want to share and I don't feel I need to. Where that first one that you had, you're like, whoa, I need to share. Like I can't. We're not doing this.
That was a beer that, oh man, everybody's gonna have some of this because it's just
Right. So this is fantastic in its own way. Um, the head dissipated as you saw.
yeah.
Not there anymore. But again, that's fine for me. Because it's kind of again, it's kind of a bigger beer and it's kind of coffee beer. So, cheers, man. I am. I don't know. I need to. I'm gonna try to go back and see if I can get any more of these. But with that name, Modern Times on it, it's gonna be tough because people see that and they just
We don't get hardly any modern times beer out here. And
they
it's
just
because I would like to have more of their stuff because it just doesn't get out here. Hell, we barely get any. It's been a handful of times I've seen even Green Flash or something like that, like San Diego style beer. I don't get a lot of that stuff. So
you guys are spoiled with the East Coast shit, but we get little things here of Modern Times, as you say. I mean, by little things, we get like widely distributed things. We don't get like the big stuff that they only have out there. But I'm gonna grab whatever I can on my way towards you, and we'll introduce you to Modern Times because they're amazing. So
well,
yeah, man. What you gonna say?
I was gonna say, well, we're gonna be bringing some stuff down to go to Dad 2.0 with us because, as you mentioned before, and I totally agree, is that usually when we go to those things and you have the bottle share and it's all heavy stouts,
Yep.
and I want to vary that so that way we can bring some, IPAs, double IPAs, like bring things that are shareable that aren't just here's this super heavy barrel aged thing, which I'm generally a fan of, but other people might not be. So
Well,
I think it'd be good just to bring a whole bunch of different shit.
well, then at these conferences too, there's a level of like you're trying to be sociable. You're not trying to drink yourself into a fucking coma. So like, or you're not trying to
Yeah, that would
embarrass
be helpful.
yourself. Right. You're not trying to embarrass yourself and have like three people like you, Aaron Govey, and Charlie Kaplan, like me, like you guys carry me back to my hotel room. Like we can't. It's happened. It's happened. I've seen it with my own two eyes. Actually, I'm not trying to be that guy. So I'm with you. Like, especially again when you go to these things and everybody's there and there's a bottle share, and you're like, "Ooh, I want to try this, this." And an hour later, you're like, "Wow."
Yeah, it's super easy because most of the stuff comes. It's like high gravity stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Most of it's bombers, so there's plenty available. Like it's, I don't know. I want to vary that a little bit because there's a lot of people that want to go there that are hopheads and want to have, IPAs. Or if you find a good fucking brown ale, bring that shit. Let's,
Yeah.
I don't want it to just be here's all the stouts and porters. I want it to be a little bit different.
Yep. And that's my vulnerable zone there, Doug. Seriously though, it's the truth. Is when I'm around a lot of my friends and there's a lot of beer and I'm just talking and I'm just drinking and I'm not monitoring any of this. Like when we do our beer tours, you'll see in New York, not necessarily do I like you won't see me actually like monitoring it, but like I'm just like when I'm on a beer tour, it's just monitoring. It's you're not trying to get buzz, you're trying to you're trying to get water in you, trying to taste as much as you can. It's a different mindset than when like I'm around all my friends and I haven't seen you for a year and I'm just like oh, and everybody finds out that I'm a beer expert or I want to be one. So everybody wants me to try what they bought. And then it becomes
Here, try this. I'd rather not.
Right.
I
Or
don't want to
Greg,
try
I
it. I'm
bought
just
this
like,
for
I'm
you.
full.
Yeah. Greg, I bought this so you could try it. It's like, great, I love it. Let's go. And then yeah, so that's where I can get crazy.
I
So
need the
I
hole to
gotta
fall into.
right. So we're gonna bring dunkles and lagers and sours. Here we go.
Oh, I'm
I
not
haven't we
sour.
haven't had any sours on the show. I'm gonna bust that soon. We need to work on that. Well, I had a sour a couple weeks ago, but I don't know. I haven't seen many sours this year. I don't know. Remember last year where the ghosts were all over the place? And I guess again we're in stout season and we're not in sour season. I got that. But like I don't
I
know. I need
last
to
year I saw a boatload of sours. I saw
right.
tons of sours. So
So are they going away or what's going on? I don't know.
you
We
know
need to
how it
keep an eye
is.
on that
Every
one.
year there's a flavor of the month that here we're all gonna make this, and then
So
you're
what is
like
it? Seltzers?
seltzers. I think that was the end of last year. Maybe that goes in through this year. I don't know. You see a lot of breweries are like, yeah, we're gonna do that, and I'm like, great, that's cool because you're expanding who the folks will come into your brewery. That I understand.
Don't
That's
do too much though.
that's a business idea. I want to bring more people in. So let's say this person comes in. I heard you have seltzer. Great, try that. They bring some people who are like, well, I like beer. I don't want to do so. So you bring different perspectives in. I can see where that is. I just like I said, for me, sours are if it's tart, I'm okay. If it's not tart, I'm not gonna want to drink it because it'll sit in my stomach like a rock.
Mm-hmm.
So
So as this one warms up, I'm getting a little bit more booze.
oh, that's good.
Um,
Well, that's
but I'm
usually
also getting more of the. I don't have it up here. Let me punch it up here again quick. Um, but I actually, as you were talking, and I took a sip, and I looked here. I'm actually getting more of the ripe fruit now, and more of the citrus, and it's an interesting marriage with the citrus and coffee. And I don't know how deep you get into coffee. And I'm not trying to get it too deep with coffee, even though I'm starting to enjoy it more. I'm not trying to get into it as far as
yeah,
knowledge because I'm trying to learn about beer.
you can go really deep with coffee.
Right. You know where I'm going. And a lot of coffee, it's weird because you look on the back and sometimes where especially in my house, I got two teenage boys and we actually got them in the coffee now. So like my house is really a big coffee place now as far as like trying to, my house is kind of trying to do what I do with beer, which is try a whole bunch of different things. My point is that I never understood when you went and bought coffee, like you bought your beans and you look in the back and they all have like all this big descriptions like these beers do. And like sometimes you look in the back of it and you're like, oh, this one gives us citrus flavors. And I'm like, how does citrus flavors work with coffee that roast? And then you try it and you're like, oh yeah, here you go. Well, this is what I'm talking about this one, where the ripe fruit and the citrus and the vanilla. Vanilla's kind of, vanilla latte and all that. Vanilla goes with coffee. We know that. But
Yeah.
citrus and coffee, to me, is not something that naturally marriages, and it works. And it works here,
Yeah.
and it works for coffee. And I don't know, it's just something I'm learning about that. What do you have with coffee and citrusy and the flavors that coffee brings out? Because it's just crazy, actually. It
Well,
really is.
it's a and I'm going to tell you, there's a whole thing with coffee and like, how, do you get whole bean versus ground already? And if you get whole bean, what kind of grinder do you use? Because different grinders open up and aerate it different ways, and it's like, our one friend Jeff took like a class on making coffee, and he was at like he's like, I know you like coffee, and I'm like, yeah. And he said, "Do what kind of grinder do you use for beans?" And I'm like, I just buy some shitty Cuisinart thing and just grind them because I'm not a connoisseur. I like coffee, and I like making French press coffee. There's a richness to making that, and there's like a ritual to it that I really enjoy. It's almost meditative, but uh,
Totally.
like I'm not going to be like, oh, I have this bean and it's going to be ground this way with this grinder, and hey, you know what? If you're into that, that's fucking awesome. You do you. I'm going to be doing my shitty cheap French press with my shitty cheap coffee grinder, or I'm just going to buy it already ground, and that's going to be fine. Yeah. But you can really get into the weeds with coffee, folks.
Right. And I was like, oh no. Like, give me enough knowledge, and I'm with you. I'm do the French press and all that, and I was able to. It was funny. It was like yesterday. I told the 16-year-old saw me brewing coffee, and he's been into it. So I showed him the whole process, and it was cool. So then I gave him a little shot glass of it because he's had like the blended lattes and stuff at the at the stores and all that,
Yeah.
but never like at home. He's never had coffee. So I gave him a shot glass of coffee, and I was like, just taste it. He's like, ooh. So I'm like, hold on. So then we added like half milk, like that's what a latte is like half espresso, half milk. It wasn't espresso, but and then he's like, oh, that's good. Yeah. So then it was like literally the suggestion. So it was funny because it was more like he's like, oh, I get coffee now, and I was like, right, like I didn't even know. When we grew up, coffee was this drip coffee. And it was this Folgers, you know what I mean? Like
this has come so house, and that's what you had.
Right. It comes so far now. Like it's just amazing. Like beer has come so far. Coffee has come so far. And then you have the artisans, and you have the little people and the mom and pop shops, and it's just great. I just love it. Anyway, coffee, beer, fantastic. Coffee is great. I don't know. I hated coffee when I was a kid, though, man. Not hated it, but I just didn't like it. I didn't get it. Didn't get it. But again,
because it felt like an adult drink.
Well, yeah, and it was just like, again, there was no creativity to it. I think we're seeing a lot of creativity.
Here's your black cup of coffee, and I look at that and I tried. I was like, that tastes terrible.
And then remember they had the powdered cream, so it wasn't even like liquid. Remember that? It was all. It was.
So like at work, we get like I bought a small French press at work. So I make French press coffee at work because the work coffee, like you get free coffee there, but it's
horrible.
It's horrible. And that is brown water. Sorry, that stuff is brown fucking water. And it has no taste. But it's a corporate thing because they're like, well, we have to this is the cheapest version of the coffee we can do. Mm-hmm. And we're giving it to you for free. And I'm like, that's cool. Hey, great. But like the thing is, I'll go and I'll bring a French press and I'll bring my own sugar because I use this like, I don't like the super high processed white sugar stuff. I get thicker, like it's almost like carbonado sugar. And I use that, and then I use milk. Well, at work, I don't take milk because if I keep milk at work, I have to buy a container that's this big, and I'm not going to use that much, and it's going to go bad.
Right.
So they have this like half and half stuff that's in those fucking plastic little things with the flip. I just like, fuck, I gotta use this shit. And I'm like, peel, pour. I'm like, that sucks. And then I throw it, gustedly throw it in my trash, and then I drink my coffee. So.
But you literally bring it. You literally have a French press at your desk.
Yeah,
I get hot water, and
I have a kettle at my desk too, a hot water kettle.
Look at that.
Well, it was funny. One day I went to go clean my little French press, and it's a French press for 1 cup of coffee. It's small. So I'm waiting to clean it, and this guy comes out, and he's carrying one too. And I was like, he's like, yeah, best coffee, right? I'm like, yeah, a million times better than that, isn't it? And he goes, because I pointed to the coffee machine. He goes, I won't even drink that stuff. And he walked out. I was like, hey, man, I totally feel you on that because I don't either. So
right. But coffee to me was like craft beer. Once I found good stuff, I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm done. Like, I can't do
it. It is. Like, when I go to my parents they still drink whatever
Folgers.
They drink Folgers or something.
Right.
And I'm just like, all right, well, I need coffee. So, but my parents they'll buy the sugar in the raw that I like. And, they have half and half of regular milk. So like, it's not the flavorful coffee, but at least the other parts I get. So I just kind of like, hey, they're my parents. They grew up when coffee was like, here, drink this. You either drink sludge.
Right.
So.
That's no different, Doug. If you went to your parents and they had Bud Light, you wouldn't be like, ah, this shit sucks. You would just have one.
There's Bud Light in the fridge down there. And
See?
see, the thing is, like, my parents don't drink beer. They don't drink very often at all, which is fine. Like, that's just like
Mhm.
my mom likes a glass of wine here and there, but it's not like anything big. And my dad's like, he'll go out and have a Rolling Rock. He likes Rolling Rock. So whatever. But like my uncle came up and he just drinks nothing but Bud Light. So they bought this Bud Light and they stuck it in the fridge, and because they have a fridge in their garage, and that's where they put like the waters and all that stuff.
Sure.
And I go out and there's still like he hasn't been to their house in 3 years, and there's still Bud Light in that fridge.
No.
Like, I'm not drinking it. Sorry, man.
If
My
you're gonna
mom,
have Bud Light, at
like,
least make
hey,
it like a
you wanna
little
have the
right, right. But you know what I mean? Like that's kind of like the whole thing. Like if you go to your parents' house to stay over and they got coffee in the morning, you're not gonna be like, I'm going to Starbucks. Like you know what I'm saying?
Starbucks where my parents live is 30 minutes away. So like,
Right. Even if it was down the street, it still would be a little bit like not. It would be awkward. So
agreed.
sometimes you just do it. So, Doug, you want to wrap this up here?
Yeah,
You had some boozy ones, and I don't know if you're gonna get to
yeah.
bring somebody into
I
the
had to
show
say I was surprised by that Bell's one, but
unless the show ends in like 10 hours. You're not gonna finish it during the show. or,
that's all.
you, you did better than we thought.
Yeah, but it's been like I'm sipping that.
Right.
I'm not woohoo down
Well,
the bench, but
well, you
so
went first. Let me go first on a wrap up. So, the best one, the from least enjoyable to most enjoyable. How about that?
yeah,
Least enjoyable tonight, and it was tough, man. Was this double IPA? Actually, proofs in the pudding. Here's the dunkel,
yeah,
and here you go. Um, and I don't know, the double IPA was fantastic. It was great. I think part of the problem for it was that it was caught in between a lager and a big stout. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I'll probably finish this in post production. So it's not like it's gonna go bad. It was just my least. It was just I don't even want to be rude and say ordinary double IPA. It was just a straight down the line double IPA, juicy, hazy, what you're looking for in that big old, when this gets poured in your glass,
yeah.
it delivers. Period. Um, this one, the second, and I don't know, man. Many nights it'll probably be the first one. The Dunkel, it drank great. It's like to me, this is like a better Yingling Lager. Like it was just great. Yingling Lager has that something at the end I just never liked about it. I just tolerated
Oh,
it.
I have things I don't like about that I can talk about, but I'm not getting into any of the weeds on that. But
We need to do Yingling Lager one day on the show. Maybe I'll pick some up on the way back and come back and we can have some nostalgia. Look, I see Doug rolling his eyes and shit. And looking off to the camera. It's great. We should look at that. Now I got that reaction. We definitely going to do a Yingling Lager show. We have to.
hey, so listen, we connected people to Mad Elf that hated Mad Elf, so I can suck it up and do a Yingling Lager.
Oh, look at that. Maybe we even get McKeever here for the Yingling too. Anyway, back to we'll get a big old group for the Yingling. So anyway, back to Fleshburger and Dunkel. Fantastic. You guys should be able to find this one. I just rode up to my local I don't even say this. It was just a supermarket. What a nice beer store. I don't know, it was just there. I just grabbed it. There were other Flensburger beers here that I probably you will see on the show because I really enjoyed this a lot. So this is very enjoyable. Man, this was only one. It was only one. It was only in one bottle, so you
Yeah,
could only get it in a bottle. I will pick up a few of these and have them around in the summer for people who come over, especially the people who are like, you have friends that are like, oh, I would try craft beer. This would be fantastic because it's a lager. It's
and it's not
approachable,
too out there,
crisp. Which that
and it's not too out there.
not too out there. Again, it delivers is amazing. So, and then this crazy ass one, I don't know, Doug. I'm gonna go look for one for you,
That just sounds
because it would be great, and I think it would sit too because of the coffee. You know what I mean? I think it would last. It's a stout. What is it? It's bourbon barrel aged coffee porter with bourbon barrel aged beans.
Yeah.
So it says the beans. I'm not sure what the hell's going on. It was fantastic. I'm gonna finish it. It's like coffee. It was like a coffee porter, like squared. It was one
Yeah.
of the best coffee porters I probably ever had. Fantastic. Boom.
Okay, so like you, the decision for me is not easy. They're all pretty good in their own way. So
Had a good lineup tonight, man. We really did. We
so
crushed it.
understand when I'm ranking these, I'm not saying one sucks at all. They're all good. Uh, this one was just it's the Bell's one was if I was gonna have to put one at the bottom, it would be this. It was it was really boozy, but it's more like a shareable beer. Like I said, it's not that it's bad. It was really good. It was tasty. It delivered on all the things I wanted. As it warmed up, all the notes came out even more. It's good, but it's like I said, I think it'd be better served if you had multiple people sharing it with you.
Shareable beer.
Yeah.
This is a okay, so look, actually it's a little old if you see here, Doug. It came out in October.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, we've talked about this before. And shout out to RC who's been talking to us on our YouTube channel. I don't think we said anything to him, but he's great. We've had him on a couple times. He's great about descriptors. And one of the descriptors I would say to this one, and it came out in October, it sounds like it's one of those ones you want to have around a fire. And you want to share around a fire. It seems big. It seems like it would keep you warm out there.
As a package, has a package date on here. So the 9th of October of last year.
Yeah. And you see what they you obviously you see what I have here on the website. This is October. But that's not, that's not again, that was a good one that
it was good. It was good. I'm not saying it's bad at all. It's just if I'm gonna have to rank, that's how it works because it was
so good. Doug, real quick though, before we move on to the next one, your beer cellarer, where does that sit with the cellaring? Would you like to cellar that one?
I think I have to go grab another one to cellar it and see how that works because the high gravity stuff generally cellars really well for me. So I think I'm gonna have to grab another one of those and see how that goes.
No. Yeah, and I don't know, I don't know, we're in January, you had it, it came out in October.
There's still some where I bought it. I know where it is, so I can grab some more.
Yeah, I don't think that I don't know because I didn't have it, but I don't think that it's affected by a couple months. So anyway, back to
so second was the standard Roarback Porter. This was it's simple and just right the fuck on. Like everything is right what you want with a porter. It's straightforward, roasty, tasty, got all the notes you want. I just, like I said, if you're just like, man, I want a porter, and for you it's Edmund Fitzgerald. This to me is like, it's not on par with it, but it's in that neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Like just really, all right, great. This is a good porter that I know if I drink it, I know exactly what I'm getting. And there's something to be said for that because sometimes you get that weird and you're just like, well, okay, that wasn't what I was expecting. You know what you're getting. And again, the winner is going to be the Nitro Hot Cocoa because that was just fucking A. I want to know how they just make all those just fucking right. I'm amazed and baffled at the same time because I still have this much left and I just want to nurse it because it's so goddamn good.
Yeah, Southern Tier, man, again, banging. When we hit Fresh Fest, we had again that if we go off of Fresh Fest for any of them, I got a couple and there's some good ones, but that will be one that we have to do.
Yeah, right. That is a bucket list place for me to go, which sounds weird because I'm in upstate New York, except I'm in upstate New York all the way on the other side of New York State. So I'm 3.5 hours away from their primary brewery. Right. So it's like, goddamn.
Right.
And it's not like the thing is, it's like my wife has family in like Buffalo area. Mm-hmm. Well, the problem is I'm near Binghamton. Buffalo's up here and Southern Tier's all the way down here. So it's like
And
not like if I went down there, it'd be like another hour drive up.
right.
So it's
And I,
like just not conducive. So,
and I don't think people realize how big. And I'm from Pennsylvania, and I really never realized how big up quote unquote upstate New York is. Obviously, we know how big New York City is, but New York, when people say New York, people just think the city. We've talked about this before, but
yep.
when people think of like, people don't think of because if you think about it, New York is the biggest. Is it not the biggest East Coast state? It's huge, and
It's
like
pretty big.
again, Virginia might come close, or
I
Virginia
think
might be bigger.
it's actually bigger because if you
Right.
drive from Virginia from east to west or west to east,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like 7 hours. It's a awful drive.
But New York's like 5 though.
Sorry, yeah, no, New York's like maybe 4.5, 5. Virginia's wider. I don't. It's
It's crazy. But
drive to that state and you're just like fucking am I ever going to get through this goddamn state?
right. But you know what I mean though, as far as New York has like that, it appears smaller than it is on the map, in my opinion. And I just see people in their head that like New York's kind of a small city and our state. And again, if you go east though, you guys are huge compared to obviously Vermont, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Maine. You're bigger than all those,
Maine's a
probably
pretty
combined. But
Maine's
like it's just like crazy. It's crazy how big it is. I'm just saying.
yeah, but Maine's a pretty big state too. That when we like to vacation there because it's just beautiful up there.
We're working on a main trip. We are.
Gotta do that, dude. I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
you, you'll be like, this is awesome. And
We are.
it's one of those places where like we vacationed. I think I showed you last year. Well, we did a show last year when I was on vacation.
Yes, absolutely, we did.
And I sent you pictures of the place I was at, and
Yes.
we're on a lake, and like you could hear people talking to each other across the lake. Now the lake was a mile long. That's how quiet it was there. And I was like, this is great.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, I don't know. It's New York State itself is like every time I say, hey, I'm from New York, and they go, oh, the city. Fucking no, I'm not from the city. It's almost like like I get it. New York City, it's an obelisk. It's huge, but the vast majority of well, no, I wouldn't say the bad because New York City is one of the biggest cities in the United States.
The world.
In the United States, but world. There's a huge number of people that do not live in the city that are part of the state of New York.
I it's hard to believe, but right. But yes, Doug. And again, like I said, I'm doing that trip soon, so I'm going to learn New York State. And the only reason I know is because I know Pennsylvania is 5 hours generally from Pittsburgh, or to when you get when I hit Pennsylvania, it's literally 5 hours to where I get to where I call old home, which is downtown in Philly. So like that's why I'm like, New York's like 5, then and Pennsylvania's like 5-ish. As far as covering that area from east to west.
If you're driving from New York City to Rochester or Buffalo, or even like Erie, Pennsylvania is right on the border of New York. From New York City to Erie is like 6 or 7 hours. That's the longest part of New York. And if you started in Long Island, then you're even farther because Long Island's a fucking mess to drive through. But sorry, Long Islanders, that's the truth.
Well, they'll be the first ones to tell you, and if they're not, they're lying. So,
move on. Hey, Long Island, that stuff sucks to drive in.
It's like people from LA. They're like, the weather's great, but what about the traffic? Don't lie. Don't lie.
Oh, the traffic there. I remember.
Don't lie.
I remember there was a buddy of mine who had his uncle come in from LA, and so I'm there at my buddy's house. We're playing video games, doing something, and his uncle like walks by, and we're like, "Where are you going?" He goes, I'm going to drive. We're like, what do you mean? He goes, you understand in LA, you don't drive. You go 5 feet, you stop, you wait, you go 5 feet. He goes, I can drive here. And I was like, shit. Like you just don't realize that's how it works there. Everything's fucking traffic. So.
Right. Our friend Daniel Fisher says it's the truth. I think he's talking about when we talk about New York State and all that shit, because he's a New York City guy, so he can relate to probably what you talked about.
Not saying that I don't like New York City. New York
No.
City. I'm just tired of being like, I'm from New York. Oh, the city. No.
Well, yeah, and I don't like New York City, but we're not going to go there tonight.
Oh, but we are going there.
I'll say that shit. I don't care. I'll say that shit. There's things about New York City I don't like, but we're coming to visit there, so I'll wait till I leave, right?
Yeah, maybe wait until after you're back.
All right, Doug. We're going to end this little.
I think so, man.
I'm going to give a little tease here, though. The show's going to change here pretty soon, and we're going to be available in many different places soon.
Yes. So we're not going to stay strictly on YouTube. We're going to be doing it in multiple platforms.
We're going to do something.
Yeah.
Let's just tease it.
Let's. Yeah, you're right. Don't give them too.
Right. You never give them too much. You give them a little bit,
more.
a little bit, and then they come.
Right.
Like, what is that? Fish in something. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week we will drop this. Liz Garrity from Chicago Museum. We'll drop that for sure. She works with our wonderful friend ABC Afro Beer Chick on the We Are Craft Beer movement. So or I Am Craft Beer. I'm sorry, hashtag I Am Craft Beer. So she's I can't wait to talk to her. She's a beer historian, which we've never had a beer historian. We have beer experts, but not a beer historian. So she's a beer historian. Next week, see you guys. It's gonna be fun. Cheers.